So, dear audience, welcome to our webinar in the topic of art and well-being. We organized this event in collaboration with FinnAgora. So first of all, say thanks to our partner. I'm Zsófia Somogyi, and as the museum educator of the Ludwig Museum, let me introduce the speakers of the event. Pauliina Lapio and Hilkka Putkisaari from Finland, and Laura Somogyi and Eszter Wolf from Hungary. The moderator of this webinar or discussion will be Katalin Östör, and let me introduce my colleague Agnes Somogyvári, who will help in the technical part of the program. Many thanks to the speakers who accepted our invitation. And now I'm going to give over microphone to Yrjö Koskinen, the director of FinnAgora, the Finnish Institute in Budapest.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, it is a great pleasure for me today to open this webinar, which is organized in collaboration with the Ludwig Museum and forms part of a series of events on art education. The topic of today's webinar is art therapy and the positive impacts that art has on our physical and psychological well-being. Our speakers will introduce methods used in Finland and Hungary. In addition, they will describe new trends in this field and exchange views and experiences with the audience. The moderator of the event is art therapist Katalin Östör from Hungary, who will introduce each speaker. And as always, I hope that the presentations will lead to a lively debate. So feel free to raise questions if you have anything in mind after each presentation. I wish you an interesting webinar. Thank you.
Welcome. My name is Katalin Östör, and I would like to start with a film, a short film about art therapy.
Art therapy looks simple, but isn't. Is it something to do with psychology? Is it magic? Is it
It's a language that is beyond barriers, beyond any kind of written word.
It doesn't look different from an art class, but what's really different is what's going on in the head of the art therapist.
Here you go. Thank you, Natalie.
Art therapy is a combination of psychology and art. By describing the image, we hear metaphor.
It can be done anywhere. It can be done with anybody.
When we finish drawing, we can share our experience.
Like starting out whole and then feeling like I'm in pieces.
On March 11th, there was the great Tohoku earthquake. Cleaning up, I was seeing all these pieces.
It hits everybody at a core, this particular horrifying tragedy.
Art is a gift. You have broken bits and pieces, but somehow it can all come together and give you the most beautiful surprise.
I just pieced together a heart, and I realized this is it. It's not just me making mosaics, but people might get that same sense of relief.
A lot of women use art therapy here to reconnect with a part of themselves.
All the families that were coming to visit this healing project were coming out to be around other people.
I think people who go into a field like this want to do good. They want to help other people.
Oh, Jenny, you still have it!
And they want to help it through something they're passionate about, which is art.
Now that's great, Jen. That makes you feel good, right? Oh, yeah.
The arts help us. They are soothing, nourishing, and nurturing.
Good job! You're really helping that person to figure out who they are and who they want to become.
So welcome back again. My name is Katalin Östör. I'm a teacher and an art therapist. I'm involved both in delivering art therapy and in social inclusion. Right now, my main focus is on children between the age of 10 to 15, even though I work with adult groups of different backgrounds too. During our sessions, we use tools of bibliotherapy, fine arts, music, and many other. In my everyday practice, I integrated art therapy in school timetables by subjects such as literature and ethics. With this different point of view, with this different approach, children have the chance to deepen their self-understanding than without. But where can you typically meet an art therapist? In Hungary, art therapy can be found both in institutional healthcare and in private sector, like personal growth and individual development. So what actually is art therapy? What forms does it have? What tools does it use? What values does it work with? Where can we use it? As you could hear in the movie, it looks simple, but it isn't. For me, art therapy is like a wide field where all the paths of my life, my professional experiences, my personal motivation can finally be joined. So the answers are many. You will hear many today. For me, music, drama, creative writing, fairy tales, dancing, theater, painting. And where can we use it? Well, low self-esteem, self-awareness, eating disorders, divorce, depression, grief, and so on. So today you will hear about different answers and different points of view. So our first guest is Pauliina Lapio. This time we can learn about the connection of art and healthcare from her. Pauliina is a coach, an art practitioner, trainer. Pauliina, please, I share the line with you.
Thank you. Hello everyone, and thank you for the invitation to come to present my work. And greetings from Helsinki, Finland. It's spring here. Now you can see some forest behind me, Finnish forest, so you can imagine to be here with me. So I'm telling some case studies about my work with healthcare organizations. I'm not art therapist myself. I'm more like a moderator, producer, artist who does all the dirty work between social and healthcare and art sector, financing and negotiations, and this innovator and inspirational speaker for both sides. And from my point of view, this undergoing crisis is forcing us to make new values, new ways to work, and find new tools for change, and use art as part of value creation processes. It means that we need well-being of people and communities and society in a new way, not in the old terms. And also new strategies in concept of holistic well-being. What is the role of art as part of well-being and art possibilities, creating new values for better health. I worked 5 years with the government of Finland in Arts Promotion Center, and we made big work with ministers of education and culture and social and healthcare, negotiating of these new values for a better future. What is the role of arts in that big picture? And these new needs, we need new managerial skills, how to manage everything. And we need dialogue and well-organized dialogue between these two sectors. And I think that cultural policy is becoming also well-being policy if we speak in political way. Like art has lots to offer for well-being and for values. And here we have some from my art projects from nursing home pictures. But next we will concentrate on hospitals, where I have been doing the work for the last 4 years at least. And this Hospital Nova is just opened in January. It's in central Finland, new hospital, brand new building. The old hospital was already so old, people couldn't work anymore. There was some problems in air and all the places and spaces were too small and it was difficult to organize. So they decided to build brand new hospital. And this hospital district, they wanted to create model for using art as part of hospital life. And we have this percentage program in Finland where you use certain amount of building costs for art. Like if it's 1% or 2%. But in this case, it was really small percentage, but in money, it's quite much. If you divide, like for almost €500,000 was used in this building process. Because why not to ask from artists, how would you plan these walls and how would you plan these hospital units? How would you put everything inside the hospital? It costs as much as you ask from somebody else or even less if it's well planned. So the main target was to use art already in building phase. Not when the hospital is ready and then bring the art, but already when the building construction is going on. But my role was to make this participatory art program, which means that when the hospital is ready, how can we use art in bigger perspective, like music, dance, movies, whatever comes in your mind in participatory meaning inside the hospitals. As also work like planning better working environments for staff. And when the patients come, they have something to do inside the hospital. And I made 2 projects inside this old hospital. We wanted to make pilots how to use this art as part of new hospital life. And I chose this neurological rehab unit and psychiatric unit. And this is the new hospital just 2 months before opening. It looks quite dark outside, but if you go inside, there's lots of art and new design. So the first project was in this neurological rehab unit. And there was this patient research before we started, that they said that they have loneliness and much time to spend there waiting for the next doctor coming. Like during the weekend, they have to just wait and wait and wait, and nothing happened inside the ward. So we took these cultural companions from city who are volunteered to go out with art. And we did collaboration with Central Finland Art Museum. So we got these art works. Here we can see one. And this museum told how to treat these artworks, how they stay well. And these cultural companions went with these artworks to this ward hospital and discussed about art with patients who have some neurological issues. They had all the time, and they have patience to be there just for one patient at a time. And just discussion, nothing else. Just simple way. And also staff got some lectures about art and how to use art creative ways without thinking too much that this is too hard or this is too difficult or I don't understand art. But we just told them that just go and do and try something. And also it was really meaningful for those cultural companions who are older people, retired people, who got something valuable to do on their free time. And the second project, I will check the time, I have still time, was Adolescents Psychiatric Safety Unit. This picture here is a little bit shocking maybe, but when I first time visited in this unit, I got to see all these places, like how patients are treated and what is this place where I'm bringing art. And of course they told that this is not used many times, this bed, but it is still there. So it gives some kind of image of this place, what kind of people are treated. It was 10 patients security ward. It means that people who are there, they are suicidal, self-destructive behavior, mutinity, they don't speak, eating disorders, depression, anxiety, and really young people, 12 to 17-year-old. And we had 2 artists working 3 weeks with artist in residence concept at hospital. This artist in residence concept is what was my leading project in Arts Promotion Center. There was game artist and visual artist from UK, Manchester. And game art, we wanted to collaborate 2 completely new art making methods for these young people who are suffering and waiting when they get help. And the idea was that staff and patients are doing together this artwork. And during these 3 weeks, they had music, printmaking, discussions, electric engineering, new things, new kind of tools also for these hospital people and young people to learn during their stay. And here are some pictures and results. So first day when artists, they started, there was no speech. These young people, they didn't speak anything. They didn't collaborate anyway, they just sat there. No eye contact, no working with materials. And this artist said that this is really confusing, but of course they were same time impressed that they got this possibility to go there to work with these young people. And we used really high quality printmaking tools, not the cheapest ones from the shop. We wanted to show them also respect in this way, that they could try like professional tools with professionals. And after 2 days, what started to happen? And she took the pencil and started to draw. I got really helpful and delighted phone call from hospital, that from the artist, that now this is starting to happen. They started to make prints, collaboration, colors came alive. They worked with other patients and they started to talk. These young people who have chosen mutinity, not talking with anyone, they started to talk really simple words. Give me that color. Can you give me that brush? Can you help me? Really small steps. And there was laughter and joking. There was this electric engineering, which was new for all. So it was difficult, but it made everybody laugh. Funny things started to happen because no rules with art. And this printmaking demands focusing and understanding different art making processes. So also people learned new skills. It's not easy to just suddenly make prints if you have never done it before. You have to focus and listen to the advices, what to do. And after 2 weeks, what happened? Pascal was born. Pascal is a creature from outer space, with lights and sounds communicating with whoever walks by or stands in front of it. All the works from workshops were gathered together in one big artwork, and it got this name Pascal. And this hospital carving team built frames and made the structure, switched on electricity. Pascal has sensors inside to react with sounds and people. And here's some results in a nutshell, what was happening and shown. Of course, there's increased well-being, communication and cooperation. Staff started to work with patients. I mean, like in art making process, of course, they worked before. And there was artwork, better self-esteem, like how they can create something beautiful, so there must be something beautiful inside me. And one patient was sent home months earlier than was planned before, because started to communicate and feel better. And one patient started normal life with hobbies, with school, with friends. And it has this hospital staff, they told me that there was no future for this young patient, like whole life in institution. But when I heard that he's back in normal life, I was so amazed. And they said that they cannot tell if it's about this art workshop, but it's like really good coincidence. It happened same time. And also one hyperactive patient focused in these art workshops. And he had this anxiety problem, couldn't work longer than 5 minutes earlier. And Pascal is now going to art museum for exhibition after 1 week. And all this participatory art program is going to be included in hospital environment during the next 10 years. And here's small inspiration. Whitworth Art Gallery in Manchester, they have really good participatory programs where people work together with mental institutions and elder care units. I have been there at least 3 or 4 times. I'm kind of using their skills for mentoring my work here in hospitals. And also Lime Art Manchester, if you are interested of hospital work, is good. They have, inside the hospital, they have printmaking studio where staff can go just after work day, they can work with print, and also patients can go there. So this was my presentation. Thank you, Kezenem. Was it right?
Eszter and Laura are two painters from Hungary. They formed the Tupolev 133 collaboration, and they do teaching researches and many other processes based on art and art experiences. Eszter, Laura, I would pass the word to you.
Okay. Thank you. So, hello everyone, and I'm one half of the Tupolev 133 artist group, and now I share our presentation, if you don't mind. So, okay. So we are mainly artists, and I can connect to what Katalin said in the beginning, that in art therapy, or from the point of view of art as participatory art projects, I personally found my personal ambitions flourishing, because it incorporates a lot of things that I consider important, and which makes my heart sing, if I can say so. But now it just in the first part, it just want to share a little bit about how our group was formed, and how it came about, and what were our intentions with it, why we wanted to form this group. So this is us, so the name comes very shortly from an aircraft. You might know the Tupolev 134, which was the tagline for that aircraft was "a jet for everybody," and we wanted a symbol for our artist group, something which is like flying like ideas. So this is the symbol, and also as we wanted to incorporate all kinds of activities of ours, like shared painting and shared thinking, and these communal practices and everything. So we thought a jet for everything would be a nice symbol. So this is us on the picture. We are just about making like big paintings together. And also the one behind us is a painting, which this one, the title is The Bed, which is the product of a small dramatic play about 7 people sleeping together, and in this kind of like playful atmosphere, and that we wanted to depict in a real size painting. So this is one of our shared artwork. So it's just to little bit see what kind of art we do, and not just our art therapies. And we formed our collaboration at the Hungarian University of Fine Arts when we were doing our doctorate researches there. And namely, my research was about, I was interested in, that's why I applied to develop a method for participatory art, because I was doing psychodrama and training as a psychodrama leader for a while when I applied. And I was interested in developing a method which is not first focused on therapy, but rather on well-being and how art can provide from the methods of psychodrama. And then at the university, we formed with a colleague of mine, Ambrus Balázs, psychologist and psychodrama leader, a research group from volunteers, students, and this picture was taken there. So this is where the whole thing started. That's why we wanted to show this. And now Laura is going to tell a little bit about the connection of the picture field and the connection of the dramatic field and how these two are linked together.
Hi for everybody. I am Laura Somogyi. I am another part of this community painting. I am a every daytime teacher and an artist also. And so the perceptive frame of these activities of the Tupolev 133 is the painting. Or conceptual thinking was developed in the context of the democratic and non-hierarchical field of the canvas. For example, the presence of a mother figure is neither more or less important than a chair leg or the presence of emotion or even the lack of something. And let me illustrate this idea with these two paintings from Béla Zobel. And Esther, can you step forward a bit?
Of course, sorry.
Okay, so similarly to the psychodrama stage, with its special time and space reality, where everything embodied by the participants and the actors are equally significant. This observed parallel in approach inspired Eszter to link the psychodramatic stage and the field of the canvas in her research. As there is no hierarchy on the canvas, there is no hierarchy in the group, the participants are equal. We are all members and all of us know the word somehow in a different way. We only have a temporary leader who is well aware of the method of the process. The process and the participants make the therapy.
And now I just want to add shortly here that this picture that you see is my drawings that I took. I usually make them after these art therapy sessions or collective art workshops because like in the following 1 or 2 days, but I still quite well remember them because I think it's also important in this subject is the documentation, which of course we all need, but as the most important thing I think for any therapy is the safety, and the safety of the participants can be harmed if because of documentation. So we usually avoid making photographs, and but afterwards this way of, as you see the drawings, we all can kind of remember the structure, and a lot of energies goes also somehow into these drawings. So I hope that we can at the end also discuss a little bit of maybe this topic of the documentation, because it's a kind of important, I think, for us, though it's not the main issue, but still. And also we as Katalin said, we speak about also the material, but also why is it good for the artist to do these kind of activities. And you know, it's a very authentic, this kind of picture that we can get out of an art, a collective art session like this one. So these are the, we just split like the main themes of what we were thinking about might be interesting for you to hear about. So this is like art therapy collective art. This is the name of the method, how we work, and the material, the oil on canvas that we choose as our main material to work with. And we want to speak a little bit about why we think it's most suitable for our method. First, we had to discuss a little bit the art therapy expression, because we don't, especially Laura, she doesn't really like this expression, though this is what we use and we understand, so of course we use it as well. But we feel, so we felt a little bit it's good to elaborate on the expression and why I think it's very good for both art, as with capital A, you know, like artist and art and the whole subject to what art can gain from this combination, and because both art and therapy conceptualize emotional and sensible information that's very symmetrical in the two, and that's also the reason why they can be paired perfectly in our opinion, and both art and therapy have the capacity to ease the person from emotional overflow, just to name one, and both do it through sharing. So art is through creation and therapy through conversation. And also there are specific art forms which are conversational. And so the two perspectives, the artistic and therapeutic perspectives and technologies, we think that both can gain a lot. And this is, I wanted to add that all the photos that we use were taken on different workshops and art therapy sessions of ours. This one is taken last year in Toronto, where we had a 2 weeks workshop in the Spanish-speaking kind of like refugee center, where all this was a rehabilitational program for transgender, mostly for transgender and transsexual people, and HIV positive, and so this is us painting at that workshop.
And yes, we think that this is good for artists, and also this is good for art. Over the centuries, fine arts became an individualistic and egoistic phenomena. And professionalism killed a lot of spontaneity and creativity in the artistic process. Participating in collective and ad hoc creation is a life-changing event for a professional artist, as it helps us to remember that the importance is not on the object of the creation, but on the act. Through the combination of art and therapy, art becomes more thoughtful and reflective. Likewise, it gains more sensibility, openness, complexity, and most importantly, authenticity. So, okay, here is one of from our programs and collective painting. This program was placed into the Correctional Institute for Young Girls in Rákospalota. We showed them several paintings from women and outsider painters. We worked with the visual messages of these pictures, and the output of this program was this so-called travel scarf, the former on the former picture, and it was finished on the so-called Roma Day, which is an annual festival event on this institute. Okay.
Okay, and now back to therapy. So what we experience with our therapeutic sessions, that what is very effective in this combination of art and therapy is that through creation we can literally change an emotional pattern connected to the subject, and the piece of art we created during an art therapy works as a monument, and as it is reminding us of our creating something new, and also it reminds us of our capability of creating something new and beautiful and meaningful. And it's also a reminder of us breaking off the old patterns, and this way we can like physically experience how the new pattern looks like as an energy and form and the real thing. And I think it's a very strong thing with this kind of therapy. And when we would tend to go back to the old patterns as we speak to ourselves from about our stories or traumas or all these things, we just cannot do that so easily to reconnect to the old patterns when we have an art object representing the new one. So I think it's a strong thing in art therapy. And this is also the painting that we made in the Toronto group, and this, we combined like the one that you saw, the Rákospalota project. The participants chose paintings which touch them and feel connected to them, and they repainted as part of the one big painting. And we are there to help them all the time how to make this, and we make it kind of like a carpet, and like in the case of the Rákospalota one, it's a scarf. So and a little bit about our method. It's that our therapeutic strategy of these participatory activities of ours is built on the integrative capacity of arts and the group. And as most traumas can be considered communal, they heal the best by community. So it's not only the art that we strongly consider in our method. It's also the group, which is also very important. And our main focus in these workshops are the most part is built on this, to make a safe environment and secure environment for the participants. And all the dramatic practices that we make around the painting is developed around this effort. And just to illustrate the safety. And so with the working with the material, we can experience our power and control over matter, which is also a strong impact, and it can heal the loss of powerless self-image as well. And as to show how I benefit as an artist from this, that if you remember the drawings that I made immediately after the sessions, I also developed them further to paintings later on. So this is my very simple how I profit from this. So this is a communal artwork that we make, and one single object which represents as also the union. So that's why we don't make separate artworks, but we persuade the participants to make one or together. And those symbols and energies that we incorporated in the artwork is a strong, can be kind of like a power bank for all the participants. And as in the case of the Toronto group, they have it exhibited in the center, and like they, not just the party, but it's really, really something that as they reflect back on it, and they feed. I have got these feedbacks from them that it's very strong, very effective. Everyone who visits the center, and they're really proud of it. So, it's also a subject that needs consideration. What happens after these workshops with the artwork that we created. And this one is about also another kind of activity, or in Tupoyev together with Laura. It was in Laura's teaching school group of painting students, and we kind of visualize in together in painting the sociometry of the group. So we played a psychodrama game which showed the connections between the members of the class. And of course, they are trained painters, so that's why you will see that they know how to paint. So it's kind of a different thing, but still it was very new to them, not just to think in the rectangular frame of the picture, but a free and more flexible way. So this is the end result of the group connections, which is visualized in this way. And then lastly, about the material, Laura, a little bit.
Okay, we are all artists, and as painters, we know so many different medium and artistic methods. But we found that oil painting is the best medium for us. And we believe that all kinds of paintings have natural function that is accessible and understandable to everyone by birth. For example, tattooing or cave painting has always been a practical, everyday alchemy for humans. Traditionally, oil paint is made of pigments collected from different levels of natural habitat of the earth, from minerals, fossils, plants, animals. Nowadays, some of them are made in laboratories that can also be considered or natural habitats from a certain point of view. Pigments are encapsulated essences or energies, as you prefer. During the process of oil painting, we use traditional techniques, grounding linen canvas with gelatin and champagne chalk, which results a wonderful gemstone quality, a clear and sparkling surface that stays like this forever, as you see. And we're mixing pigments with linen oil. And by its consistency, oil painting represents changeability and plasticity. The more layers we have in an oil painting, the richer the picture becomes. There is no such a thing as a spoiled oil painting. It can be redone 100 times. The paint has some thickness, like human body, and one layer can keep fresh as long as someone can stay awake. This way, the oil painting represents for us such a complex metaphor of the human psyche.
Yeah, and then just to close the whole presentation, one symmetric thing that we we saw in the similarity in the it's the unpredictability of any kind of therapies, and especially the group therapies, and because it's the product of the specific day, atmosphere, space, people present at that specific moment, and then and it's just two pictures wanted to show when the group is drawing each other's shadow, and then we are very surprised on the result. So it's just, yeah, thank you very much. And this was our thoughts, and we'll be here for the questions.
Thank you.
Esther, you received a question during your presentation. And the question is the following: is this form of therapy called, or at least similar to, family meta-constellation therapy? This question arrived more or less when you were talking about drama.
I think it's a very interesting question, because we use some methodology from this Familie and Aufstellung. I don't know what was the name because I don't know the name in English, but I know it's the same thing, because we use they have a special emphasis in that method on the certain energies in a field. And it's also similar to what we said in the beginning, the certain energies in the painting. So it's even stronger. I think this concept is even stronger in the Familie and Aufstellung than in psychodrama, and because it's a little bit more kind of esoteric, and the psychodrama considers itself more scientific. So, but I am experienced in both of them, and I think it's very nice and very similar to how we think about the picture field as in the Familie Aufstellung kind. So yeah, I think it's similar. If that was we use that as well in the method.
Thank you, Esther. There is the questions and answer part. So I'm inviting the audience to ask questions there, or even though you can ask in the chat. So I'm reading it, and as you can see, the presenters will receive it after the presentation. And now let's have a deeper insight of the emotional, mental and psychological aspects of art therapy. Hilkka Putkisaari is a multi-talented professional in fields of teaching, art and therapy. For the past 20 years, she has been working at her own company as a psychotherapist, art psychotherapist and clinical sexologist, as well as an educator, lecturer and work supervisor. Hilkka is also an author of several articles and books on art therapy. Hilkka, are you ready for the presentation?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Okay, and as I work as psychotherapist and art psychotherapist, I now want to tell you in my presentation something about therapy process and what I do when I do my work as an art therapist and art psychotherapist with my clients. Usually these art psychotherapy usually these art therapy processes, they are 3 years. Sometimes they can be even 6 or 7 years, and sometimes they are only 1 year. But mostly they are 3 years, and my clients come to therapy about once a week or sometimes twice a week. So it differs according what kind of difficulties these clients have. Okay. This is a picture, this triangle, how we present art therapy. What, in traditional therapies, the interaction between client and therapist, it's through speech, spoken language. But when we, in art therapy, we have this extra channel, image, pictures. And even if your client doesn't have any words, if you can have, for example, you can have autistic clients who doesn't speak at all, and still you can have art therapy with them, because you have this image, you have this picture channel. You don't have to speak. You don't have to make this a spoken language. These pictures are from one of my youngest clients. She was 6 years old, little girl. She was not talking at all, autistic girl. And this black and white image, black and white picture here on the top is at the beginning of her therapy process. You can see there is just one figure. It looks like some, I don't know, is it a dog or something? She didn't make any pictures of human beings. They were only animals. It was a lonely figure, black and white, lonely figure. And when the therapy process, when we go on, then there was 2 figures, and sometimes I don't know who are these, but I think this was probably her, and this might be me as a therapist, because we painted together. She made pictures, and I was sitting next to her, and I was making pictures as well, similar as her. So we painted together at the same time. And on these pictures below, you can see how there came more characters and colors. And in this picture, you can see music. There is a drummer. Somebody is drumming, and this one is playing maybe some kind of horn. And I don't know, is this brown figure, is it dancing or doing something? But anyway, there's something happening, and this lonely figure is not alone anymore. There's more of these figures here. And in this last picture there, you can see these figures are talking to themselves. They are like a group. They are like facing each other. They are like they are having interaction between. So it's when you compare this first picture to this last picture, you can see how much she had more colors, and you can say it. This art therapy process, it enriched her way to communicate and to express herself. Okay, and in art therapy, it is also, as we have heard today, it's not only the picture, but it's the creative process what's essential. It's the most important, because the creative process, it's that is what is the healing element, and that is the most important. And when making art, for example, this little autistic girl, she proved in her cognitive abilities. when she came to art therapy, they said her cognitive level was about 3 years old. But when we ended our therapy process, she was at the same, about the same level as she was, 6 years. Her cognitive level. She didn't speak anything, but her cognitive skills, they were much higher after this therapy process. Here are some pictures describing that in art therapy you can have symbols, sometimes only colors. You don't. Sometimes those pictures, they don't have to present anything, but sometimes they are strong symbols of some thoughts and feelings and inner thoughts of the client. And when they put these thoughts and feelings in images, in pictures, you can, and those thoughts and feelings, you put in them in symbolic pictures. You can talk about them. There is, for example, there is this house, and the artist, the client said this house was her. It was a picture of herself. And the other picture is a picture of so-called forbidden love. There's tears because, as she said, this love was not, she should not have this love. And there's an arrow going through her heart because it was hurting. And this is like, do you know, we call it roopeanka. Do you know what is in English? This in Donald Duck, you know, this uncle which have lots of money, you know. This is like his house, full of money. It's like a bank. It's like a bank. So this bank is symbolizing that this client, she had to put her feelings in this bank. She couldn't show them because it was forbidden love. So you can present your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings through symbols. And I like this Joy Saverian, she has said the picture sets the psyche in motion. I like this sentence a lot. And this is like Pauliina was saying when she's working with elderly people, even with people who have dementia. When you make art, it improves your cognitive skills, and you can remember things, and it's good, even if your cognitive level is not so high anymore. This is a picture of my client, one of my clients, and in this picture she is presenting this situation at her home when she was a little girl. These yellow stripes here, they are lightnings. It's like electricity on the air. And this black thing here it's a hole. It's a mouse hole. And she said she is this little mouse. And as you see, this little mouse, it has got many legs, because she said this mouse needed to have many legs because she needed to run away very, very quickly to hide in this mouse hole. Because this little mouse, it doesn't have any eyes. and it doesn't have any ears, and it doesn't have any mouth, only these bushy whiskers, like she's trying to sense this atmosphere. And these two larger figures, they are her parents. And she said, when I was a girl, I never knew when there was an argue coming. So I had to be aware and to hide very fast. And when she was making this picture, only afterwards, when we were observing, looking at this picture afterwards, when it was finished, she noticed that, oh my God, this mouse, it doesn't have any eyes, no ears, no mouth. And she said, it's like me. I couldn't do anything else but run away. This is so-called support pictures, and at the beginning of the process, when you start a therapy process, it's good to make these pictures of safety place, especially if you have clients with trauma clients. They need lots of space and lots of the sense of security. So it's good at the first to make lots of pictures of good memories and calming moments and safe places. And this is a picture, an empowerment picture. And in fact, this is a picture of the same client who did this one. It's the same mouse, but now this mouse has eyes and big ears and mouth and teeth, so it can bite. So it doesn't have to run away anymore. It can shout and say, no, I don't like it. It can defend itself. So, and this was a very powering picture for her to make, to give this little mouse mouth, eyes, ears, and teeth. When we make art, we have art. The advantage of it is that when you are making making art with your hand, it keeps you present at this moment. So even if you are making a picture of some traumatic memory, when you are making, doing it by hand, it's like you have one foot in that traumatic memory, but you have your other foot at this present moment. So it's not so, as you said, overwhelming with those feelings, those memories. It's much safer to make pictures of traumatic memories than to only to speak about them. Because when people are just speaking about those traumatic memories, sometimes they go so deep in those memories that they are like reliving again those bad feelings. But when we make pictures, it's safer. They don't go so deep in those memories. And it's also, people think it's, clients think it's safer to talk about these pictures than to talk about those memories as themselves. This is a picture where my client make a picture of her safe animal. Her safe animal is this bear, and this bear is embracing her, And there you can see an eye. It's quite many of my clients, they draw eyes. And I think it's because they have these memories of moments when it has not been very good to be looked at. And here, so they are afraid when somebody is looking at them. They feel it very same. It's inconvenient when somebody is watching you. And here this bear is putting its paw against this eye, and you can see all the bad look is going away, and only good, calming and safe look is coming through, like a yellow and green colors. And she said when she goes somewhere and she feel distress, she can imagine that she has this power animal, the bear is with her, and the bear is embracing her, so it's safer to stay in those places when she can imagine that now I'm with my bear. And in fact, this client had a tattoo. She took a tattoo of bear paws here to remember this safe. And sometimes you can explore your clients' different personality traits through pictures. Like here is pictures of this client. She's presenting a part of her which likes good things and pleasure things. One side of her, she said, is naive and gullible, and one side is calm, and one side is independent. So she present different part of herself. And she was very creative person. She also wrote poems about these pictures. And this is her way to increase her self-awareness. And this little cross, like here in the middle, this is my idea. I told her, let's put your pictures on the floor, and we make this, they are like scales. There's number 0 is in the middle, and there are, in the scale, there are scale from 0 to 10. And I said, and I asked her to put how much is this part of your self, this personality trait, how much is it present at this moment? Put 10 if you think it's very strongly present at this moment in your life, and put 0 if it's not at all. First make this scaling, and then I ask her to tell me, is this value, for example, 4, is it good? Is it okay to have this part of yourself to be present as much as number 4? Or would you like it to be more? Would you be like brave? Would you like to be more brave? Or would you like to be less brave? So we put it on scale. It was quite nice, and we had very good conversation, discussions with this scaling. You can also have pictures of dreams. What are your dreams? What is your desired future? And when you make these dream pictures, they reinforce the confidence that this change is possible. So it's good to ask your client to make pictures of the hoped future of the dreams. And also we can think that image works as a container. When we have our clients, they have very distressing memories or something, you can ask her or him, the client, to make a picture, and then you can say, I can keep this picture, I can keep your memory, it's safe with me, you can leave it to me, and I take care of, I nurse it, I take care of it. And you can go in your ordinary life, you can leave therapy room, and you don't have to worry about this anymore. It's here, I keep it here. So it's like the picture is like a container, but also therapist is a container of the client's disturbing experiences. And I always keep all my clients' images, pictures, when we have this therapy process going on. I don't give them to themselves. Only afterwards, when we end the process, I give those pictures back. And then at the beginning of the therapy process, we decide what to do with those pictures. Sometimes therapy clients want to burn some pictures. Some therapy clients have making, I don't know what's in English, you put them on the wall and people can come and look at them. It's expedition. Is it expedition, the word? Okay. So sometimes people want to show those pictures to others. Sometimes they burn them. Sometimes they put them in pieces, or whatever they want to do. We decided what to do with the pictures at the end. But when the process is going, I'm keeping the pictures because I'm working as a container. Then. And then there is these terms externalizing and distancing. And externalizing, it means that the client can bring their feelings into to image. For example, if some of my client comes into a therapy session and they can say, I'm very distressed with anxiety, or I'm very angry now. I can say, okay, you can keep this feeling now, but put it in the picture. Make a picture of this anger. And when the image is ready, then we can look at it, we can observe it from distance, and that's called distancing. It's easier to talk about those feelings when they are in a picture, in a concrete form, and you can look it from distance. And when you put those feelings in pictures, that's called externalizing. And here is one of my clients. She externalized her feelings in masks. In this mask at the left side, she said about it, I'm evil, I'm a monster. And on the right side, this mask, she said, I'm gentle and I'm loving. So she said, I have two parts in myself. Sometimes I feel I'm very evil and I'm a monster. I get very angry and I'm like a monster. And sometimes I'm very gentle and very loving. Those NC and PC, they means NC like negative cognition, negative thought about myself, and PC is positive cognition about herself. And when she put those parts, those negative and positive cognition in mask, we could talk to those mask. I could ask this, like this blue monster mask, I could ask, what is it what you want? How can I help you? Why did you come here? What is the meaning for being here now? And so on. So we are talking to this mask like it was real. And also we can write letters to those masks. And we can put those masks facing each other and talk to them, to each others. Like this positive cognition, this loving part can tell to the monster part, I'm very sad when you are so angry. And the angry part can say, I'm angry because nobody is listening to me, or something like that. It's like psychodrama you do with this mask. This is a picture of, I tell you about this picture. It was one of my clients' picture, and she said this picture is a picture of me, herself. She presented herself as a picture, and in this picture you can see this branch, one branch that is cut off. And she said, it's like me. When she was a little girl, her parents were very authoritative, and they said, you have to go to become a teacher. And she said, I never wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to be an artist. But her parents said to her, this is not a good work, good occupation for you. There's no money if you go to be an artist. You need to become a teacher. And she felt like she didn't, she's like this tree, she didn't had chance to grow to that direction, what she really wanted. But she had to do something what her parents decided for her. And this was a painful thought for her. She was a grown-up woman, and she said, I never had a chance to do what I really wanted to do. I was forced to do something what I didn't want it to do. And during this art therapy process, she could reframe this thought, and she could look at this picture like it was not her parents who cut this branch, it was herself. And when she was cutting it by herself, it's like she was cutting this chain of violence, which was in her own family. She said, I never force my own children to do what they don't want to do. I'm not like my mother. I'm not like my father. And she said, no, now I realize it's not they. I got this family history, and I choose to have my own way. So she reframed this picture, and it was very important picture for her. Okay. Pictures can also present how this therapy process goes on. The picture on the left shows, as the client says, I was first in this well so deep I couldn't see the light, but now I have managed to get my head so high I can see what's going on there. And on the right, this is an other client saying, I'm going so fast and I'm doing so fast that I'm even sweating here when she's going so fast in her therapy process. And at last, I show you a picture of images, as I call as-if images. They are pictures when our clients have these events, memories of moments which are so-called unfinished. Something that they still think today, why couldn't I do that then? So they make a picture, first they make a picture of this situation which is disturbing them still. And then they make another picture where things are like they wanted this this event to end. And this is like reconstructing this situation in a positive light, and it helps to let go of it, to put it back, because it's like they have like a virtual feeling like now I did it. I couldn't do it then, but now I did it. And this is my last picture in my presentation. This is this left there is this yellow figure. It's a bully. It's a bully, and this bully is saying, "Ha ha ha! Look at that poor thing! It's crying! Ha ha! It's very nasty." And my client is this little character in these bushes with this violet hat on. She's looking from there, and she's very scared. And there is another character in the house, and this character is also very afraid of this bully. And the other picture is where my client is, she said, the bully is on the ground now. And she said, this is not aggressive picture, but it's a picture where she said, I'm the winner. I have won this battle. And I'm now smiling, I'm happy. And she's having those purple rubber boots on her hand. And she told, when I was a little girl, I had a violet purple rubber boots, and I hated them. But my mother said, you have to wear them. But now I took those rubber boots off of my foot, and now she's wearing a green shoes, as green is her favorite color. And this is her power picture now. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Hilkka, thank you for the empowering words and the examples you showed us. Actually, we don't have so much time, but I think we would be happy to listen to your examples even more. We have some questions though to Hilkka and to all of you actually. Do you agree? Can we start the question section? Hilkka, the first one is for you. Do you use any specific tests for assessing children's abilities and intellects? For example, do you use Good Enough Harry's drawing test or any other, and specially evaluate it according to its criteria? Or do you do it intuitively. Sorry, this is the first question, Hilkka, personally to you. And your microphone, please. Thank you.
No, I don't do this test because at first clients come to me through a doctor from a psychiatric doctor. So if they have had any test, they have done it already. And the second reason why I don't do them, because I don't like them. I hate this draw a man test. Because I think in art therapy, the client is the only person who can own their pictures. They are the only persons who can tell what's in those pictures. So I get angry about this test when you say, look at there's little smoke coming from the chimney. Ooh, there is somebody is at home and so on. Oh, I don't like these. These kind of tests.
Thank you for the answer. Deeply agree with you. When people look at some pictures in their study alone, analyzing it, it makes the exact opposite as we do, I believe. Okay, then, and there are some other questions. Hilkka, it's still for you. How old was the client who drew the bear? Young girl and the eye. You know, you show the picture. It's about that. Could you turn on the microphone, please?
Sorry again. She was a young woman over 20 but under 30.
Thank you. Okay, then we have some questions to everybody and anybody. Do you have an experience with art therapy with deaf clients? Do you, any of you have clients? You know, Hilkka, you talked about the drawing and the metaphorical language, but it was mainly about the autistic girl who didn't speak. Now the question is about experience with deaf people.
I don't. I have never had deaf clients, but I can imagine it would be quite the same. It doesn't matter if you are deaf because we have this art, we have this picture, we have this extra channel. We don't have to hear.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who is using wool spinning in therapy process? What an interesting question. Hand spinning, spinning wheel in Hungarian, fonás és rokka. What a lovely question, really. Fairy tales pop up to my mind, you know, how strong metaphor it is. Do you have any experience using this form of art?
In personal therapies that I do in my studio, I used with one client, a little girl, threads, because she was attracted to threads like fonal and whatever, but we didn't use spinning, but she was putting like nails in hardwood, and she was like, I don't know, making structures. So I use different kinds of materials at home in my personal art therapy sessions according to the client, what the client is attracted to, and also as this is the way I use, like there are some small clients who use rather like big sticks of chalk rather than, you know, like painting, or because the mechanical skills are not developed like that. So and also the tactile sensation and the attractiveness of the different materials is, I think it's very important to find which one is sympathetic to the client. So
yeah,
it was only once, but still.
Yeah, and it's actually connected to the thing that you mentioned, that it's always the focus is also on the question of the topic, of the problem of your clients, how it relates with the control of the matter.
Yeah.
As you said, you chose the oil on canvas. So yeah, but
but
a very inspiring question actually.
Yeah, so the you know, the groups, in the groups we promote the oil, but in my personal practice I have the ability to focus so much on one person that we can try like all kinds of materials, so it's different.
Yeah. And then we have a question to Pauliina. Pauliina, the question, I'm interested in the game art you mentioned. Can I hear more about it, or where to Google it?
Yes, I answered something already.
Yeah, you.
But yes, shortly, yes. This was quite new concept because we don't have this kind of game artist who is working with social and healthcare. So we just put something together in this open call, which you can Google. And it was first time ever that this game art was brought to social and healthcare settings like this, as in artist in residency project. And also this game field, because they work as really, how you say, they just make quickly games, they develop games, and their value is just to create quickly money from the gamers, you know. So our focus was to find a person who could create something in a more like sustainable way, and how to think about these users, because I think many young people use games. So how to create these games in different way, like more from this value creation point of view. So it was really short time, 3 weeks to work with game arts and this visual artist. But we brought some short elements, like how to build this whole residency with some gaming elements like this, some like first it's slowly increasing, like the adventure of being in residency and what happens during the residency, and many things and many thoughts. But there was Finnish game artist and this electric engineering, more likely what he did in the final point.
And we can Google it for
Yes.
more. Okay.
Yes.
All right. We don't have more questions, but can I have one more question to Laura? As during your presentation, you said you don't really like the name art therapy, and I was wondering how else you call it, how you usually call it if you don't agree with the name art therapy. It made me very curious.
Esther told this sentence. I don't like to use art therapy just because of I am not a therapist, and I don't like to talk about a lot about therapy because I don't know especially a lot about therapy. I prefer talking about painting and teaching and being a collective and working together.
Okay, I understood now. Thank you. So
Thank you.
We came to the end of this webinar. It was really interesting to see so many points of views, hearing about Pascal and all the fields the painters experience, and all the exciting examples of Hilkka. So this is the time to close this time together. Zsófi, I pass the word to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kati, and many thanks to the speakers for their interesting presentations and sharing their practices and experiences. And of course, many thanks to the audience for the questions. We recorded the webinar, and we will upload it to the YouTube channel of the museum. We will inform you, the audience, and the registered persons via email in this week. So have a nice evening, and thank you your time, and thank you your participation. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.